Over the past few weeks, I've received dozens and dozens of calls from clients and families, as well as many, many other people concerned about the ending of the CARES Act. As you might know, or I'm sure already know, the CARES Act is set to expire the second week of May, and with a 30-day grace period, the second week of June. That's going to dramatically change how people view what might be their earliest possible release date from prison. Up until now and for the past few years, a lot of people have gone into prison thinking that they have an opportunity to transition from a period of incarceration to a non-custodial home confinement, halfway house, much sooner than normally would be provided. Coupled with a number of these calls, a lot of people are now asking me or telling me that they've spoken to other consultants who are trying to sell them different opportunities to get out early. The most recent I've heard is kind of like a version of snake oil, where they're being told to purchase a website where they can blog from prison, or help them create a 5 to 15 page release plan, or generate book reports while you're there, and they'll help you prepare them for your case manager. All of these different programs or supposed programs with the goal of getting them in front of a case manager who ultimately is the person in prison that will determine and help determine the earliest possible release date, as well as other functions that a case manager does for you. So I decided to go directly to the source and ask what a case manager, in this case a former case manager, would recommend in today's environment. So yesterday I had a conversation with a former case manager. She worked for many, many years, not only as a case manager, but ascended to the role of warden in 2 facilities, and then went on to become one of the highest ranking females in the Bureau of Prison. She now is a principal at a consulting firm, Prisonology. So I asked her what she thought about how to position yourself best in the age of no longer having the CARES Act, given the First Step Act and the opportunities provided under that to get the earliest possible release. And also what she thought about some of these programs that are being promoted by other consultants. Her first statement was, there is no effing way a case manager has the time, inclination, desire to sit down and read a 5, yet alone a 15-page release plan. They're not going to ever look at somebody's webpage, and nor do they have the time to. They're extremely overworked, they have an extremely high caseload, and like anybody, they want to get in, do their job to the best of their ability, and get out. They're not there to be your friend, they're there to do a job. That doesn't mean that you can't have a relationship, a professional relationship with a case manager, almost to try to endear yourself to them, to get the best and most respectable type of relationship, which will eventually, should eventually, lead to a more favorable outcome regarding your release date. But also, the case manager has the ability to determine, are you going to go to a halfway house or go directly to home confinement? In my case, when I was released, and I was released early, I went directly to home confinement, completely avoiding a halfway house. Case manager has many, many roles within the Bureau of Prisons. They could help determine the outcome of a disciplinary infraction. They certainly are the first point of contact for you for issues of when you leave, your earliest possible release date, and where you go. So influencing them in the most positive manner and not wasting their time is by far one of the most important relationships and responsibilities you have when you surrender or a loved one surrenders to prison. I feel bad for people that, and I know because I was in that position, are vulnerable. You're getting ready to surrender. And the only thing that matters is, how do you get back to your family as quickly as possible? And there are those in our profession that will prey on that vulnerability and try to sell you things that have no application whatsoever in terms of the most successful outcome. Both preparing for your surrender, having the best experience possible, if there is such a thing, while you're incarcerated, but ultimately get you out as quickly as possible. So I encourage you, think about what I'm saying. If you'd like to have a conversation and even possibly speak to this former case manager, let me know. I'm always here to help you 7 days a week and try to answer any questions you might have. I look forward to speaking to you with any concerns.